Hello and welcome back to another bloody good vaping. So today I'm going to be taking a look at an RTA designed out of Croatia, and that is the Soul and the Soulless from Van & Del Design. Now you may have heard of Van & Del Design, especially back from the forum days, like on Vaporwall and stuff like that. Make some great juice, and also sort of heavily involved in the Genesis style atomizer scene. And the Soul was originally designed for Genesis style wicking, but then because of with the rapid change in vaping styles and cotton more coming forefront to vaping RTAs than mesh anymore, that they actually readjusted the Soul to suit a cotton build in it. Now there are two versions of it. The Soul, which is the big version, which is about 50mm in height, 23mm in diameter, and holds around 6.5mm of juice. Masses there. And then the Soulless, which is its baby brother, which is 30mm in height, 23mm in diameter, and holds around 3.5mm of juice. So there's those two little versions. If you do get the Soul, you can buy the Soulless drop kit, or you can buy the Soulless as a standard atomizer itself. Made of 316 grade stainless steel, comes with an all-tem tank as well, but you can opt for a PMMA optional extra. Airflow control with two different direct airflow intakes basically options. You can go from a 1.8 or switch to a 3mm option as well. So 1.8 for mouth to lung, 3mm for more of a direct lung inhale. Nice airflow control ring on the bottom, and the deck itself, very easy to work on. We've got 6 slots. Basically you've got your not really posts, but your 2 blocks, 3 slots on each side held in with grub screws, and basically you can just fit in your coils in between there, and it's really nice and easy. I'll show you more on the close-up. Now I've got sort of one of the early very first batch ones. Now these were handmade, these first ones, okay? The follow-up production line are done CNC, but these ones are handmade, and there's been some changes to it since I got these as well. So what I show you here might not necessarily be what you get in the production run, but I'll talk you through those changes on the close-up itself. Now currently I've got the Soulless, the baby version, on my Intarsio. I'm vaping it at 24 watts at 0.93 ohms. 50/50 VG PG Vaping King slime in there as well. Lovely. Now before I get into any more details about this, price, what I think about it, where to get it from, etc, 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 let's pop down to the table now. Let's have a little look at it up close, and then we'll come back and give it a bloody good vaping. Safe. So upon receiving your Soul or your Soulless, it will come to you in this rather nice little circular tin here, like this. Inside you'll also get this sort of little letter of authenticity there with your serial number and the Van & Del signatures. So here you have the Soul itself. This is the larger version of the two. This is stands at 50mm in height from the base to the top there, 23mm in diameter, so be mindful of that if you're planning to use, say, on a 22mm mech mod or something, but on your regulated mods it's not really going to make a difference. 316 grade stainless steel, comes with an Ultem tank as standard, although you can get a PMMA optional as well. One of the first changes you're going to notice on this one is we've got Soul engraved on the top there, the full name of it. I believe now it's just the S itself, the sort of logo of the company. So not so much engraving on that top cap there now. On the bottom, you get your serial number and also your fixed 510. Now this is fixed, it's non-adjustable, and it isn't so proud as what is on this one. They've actually reduced the 510 just a fraction, so it's not as proud as the one on these sort of first handmade batches. Top cap, really nice indeed on the Soul version. On the big version here, we do have basically a removable top section. If I can just get my hands on it, there we go. Ready for top filling there. However, we do have a really nice sort of deep well in that top cap, exceptionally deep. So you're going to be able to get a lot more juice in it if you fill from the bottom. So if you do bottom fill, you're going to get a lot more capacity in this tank than you would the other way around. So I do like that, by the way. That's a really nice touch. And it's a really nice weighty top cap as well. Feels really solid, really well made, Absolutely beautiful. Threading on it is fantastic. Airflow control ring, works fine. When I first got it, it was stiff as anything, but over time it's actually been fine. Did watch Todd's review when he did one quite way back. He kind of did a sort of like a first look sort of thing, and he was having trouble with the airflow control ring, and I did at first. I totally agree with him, but after a few days it just settled down and started working fine. And also I have had experiences with not being able to fully get the tank off without actually pulling this base bit off. There is a kind of a knack to it. It does have to be quite tight as well, but you sort of need to be able to just grab it by this piece here. So, I mean, if you've got wet hands and that, it can be a bit of a trouble. You do end up taking a couple of pieces off rather than the actual bottom section. So, let me just try it now and show you what I mean. If I want to remove the bottom section, usually that piece comes off, and then I have to grab this piece, and if I've got wet hands, it can be a bugger. I know, probably Sassa's going to say, "Oh, shut the fuck up, Damien, what are you talking about?" But yeah, sometimes, it's just sometimes really. But then if you get it by that grip there, you haven't got a problem. Before we go down to the deck, let's just have a little look at the Soulless, basically the drop kit that you can get for this, or the Soulless does come as one complete unit. So here is basically the Soulless as a drop kit. Now, obviously it's just the tank section and the top cap, and the top cap and the chimney are basically all one piece. So if you already have the Soul and just want to have the sort of like the drop down Soulless kit for it, this is what you'll receive. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the top filling section of the top cap is different. I mean, you can still, I've done it quite plenty, you can still remove the top and fill down that way if you want, but bottom filling, once again, you've got that really nice deep well there in the top cap, so I suggest bottom filling. But yeah, it's just one whole section, this top cap, rather than the two piece that you actually get on the Soul. But yeah, that shrinks it down from 50mm to 30mm, and shrinks the capacity down by another 3mm. But it's a lot smaller, and for me, it looks a lot better with the drop kit on it. It's quite a big boy, the Soul, but the Soulless is a nice, handsome little piece of kit. Once again, you won't be getting Soulless on the top cap on the new batches. It will be just a straight sort of S, the symbol of the atomizer itself. So let's get down now and have a little look at the deck. Okay, so here we have our deck section. Now, our deck is underneath this threaded chimney piece here. Remove that. And you can see there you've got your deck. Now, I've currently got the 3mm air intake piece in this at the moment. Now, like I said, you do get an alternative 1.8mm. I think this is 1.5mm, but it's one of the earlier versions, so there will be a 1.8mm version instead. Now, even though this piece is separate, these actually now come attached to the 510 section in a minute, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But let's just have a little look at this deck here. Now, this deck, we have our 6 slots, just like the other one. Very nice and easy to just chuck a build in this. I pretty much just remove one grub screw, slide one of my tail leads through underneath one, tighten that down, and then drop the other one in. It's really simple indeed. And then our cotton sits and goes through these grooves on the sides here. Now, this wasn't the original deck. This was basically an upgrade or another deck that you can get. I've got the original deck here as well, as you can see. It's just got those 2 holes in where you would actually just put the cotton down there instead. And this is probably where that U-wick Genesis style originally the idea came from, whereas you could imagine just a U-wick going over there and into those little holes there. But these holes are quite thin, and it kind of stopped us having anything really over 2.5mm in diameter of a coil, because the amount of cotton that you would have would be a bit too thick to try and pull down there. So Van and Del went back and come up with this little beauty here, where we have these slotted pieces here, so we can fit a lot more cotton down the sides. Now, to change that, it's relatively simple. I mean, you may not need to. You may just get this deck here and think, I'm just happy with that one. Or you may get this one here and then just want to upgrade to this one every now and then or whatever. So you probably only have to do it once, but it's pretty simple enough. Just remove your base section. And you see this little piece underneath. This is pretty much your 510, which will be a fixed 510. I'll just get a little Allen key and untwist that to take that off. Now, I know that Todd also showed you how to do all this, so if you want to see a bit more coherent review, then go and watch Todd's. But this is what I mean now by about the fixed 510 with the air intakes. You can see your air intake is actually protruding there. It's threaded and protruding there. But from now on, to improve conductivity, Van and Del have actually brought out 2 pieces that you get, and it's just one fixed piece like that now, rather than having these separate. So in your pack you'll get 2 pieces like this, one with a 3mm and one with a 1.8. But yeah, getting back to the actual deck then, changing the deck. So now we've removed that section at the bottom. Just take your deck and twist. And then pull out, and you can see your PEI insulation piece underneath there. Just keep that in, no problem. Then just remove your section there. Take your new deck, or your first deck, whichever one you want. Whatever air intake you want as well. Like I said, they'll be fixed now with your 510. And just push them through like that. And then just thread them in to your section here. Sorry, right backwards. Thread it into that section there, excuse me, ignore that last part. Right, making a pig's ear of it, but there we go. Thread that section in. And push in your insulation. If it will let me. There we go, there we go. Sorry about that cack-handedness. And then you've got your new deck in there, okay? Then you'll need this piece again, but like I said, it will be all one piece from now on, which will make it a lot easier. And then thread that in. He says, pushing down the insulation. There we go. Christ. Excuse that. There we go. Make sure this is nice and tight, this section as well. And that's pretty much how to change your deck. You probably do it a lot cleaner and a lot easier than I just did it then. All fingers and thumbs today. But yeah, that's pretty much just how to change whichever deck you want. I mean, it depending on what one you order or what one you get with it. I mean, you're never really going to have to do that. You're going to be satisfied with whatever particular deck you get. You know, there's not a huge amount of difference in the way they vape, apart from the fact that you can build sort of bigger coils and the other one with sort of more cotton flowing down those sides. So it just depends on how you build, really. But yeah, that's a simple enough way. Simple enough. That's pretty much how you change the decks on them. Make sure everything's nice and tight before you build, and then yeah, once you've done all that, once you've changed your deck to your desired, then you can go and put a build in it. So let's put a build in this now and see how she vapes. So I've got here a simple 26 gauge. I've got 8 wraps on it. Over a 3mm bit. Now they do recommend sort of like a 2.5mm diameter, but I like 3mm. It suits my sort of vaping, so I'm going to use that. Now I've basically just removed a grub screw here and then one there. So I'm going to slide in my first tail lead in this side, nice and easy, and then the other one just drops in. Bob's your uncle. So yep, I'm just going to tighten this first one down. There we go, lovely. Get my second one. And then just put that one in. Nice and tight. There we go, adjust accordingly. Just get it over that air slot where you want it. Nice, just a quick little build there, and just snip off your excess. And there we go. Just put your cotton through. Have a little trim. Now I like some of it. I like it basically coming down these open slots there, just to sit underneath the slot. So I'm just going to take that much off. That much off, that'll do. Let's have a little look at that. Cool, and I just basically, that's a bit too long, I think. Sorry about that. A bit too long. A bit less than that. Get out. Get out. There we go. Just sit down. Like that. So I'm going to use some juice here. I've got some this one from Coil Vapes. It arouses me. And I'm just going to sneaky push those wick ends into those open slots there. A lot easier on this deck than the other one with just the 2 holes in it. These just fit in nicely like that. Okay. Happy with that. Let's have a little tester on here. Lovely jubbly. Right, now I'm going to use the Soulless on this one. So just tighten that chimney section on. I'm going to bottom fill my Soulless so I can get the most out of it that I want. Screw her on. And there we go, take a vape. And that is the Soul and the Souless from Van & Del. So there you have the Soul and the Soulless. Now, first thing to mention on this is the build quality is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the top cap is a real solid piece of steel. It's really nice and weighty as well, and you can tell that's great quality, you know. And I do love the way, like I said on the close-up, it's got that sort of, it's almost like a bucket itself, the top cap. So if you're filling from the bottom, you get all that extra space in there to add more juice to it. You know, you can top fill, but then you're not going to get the most space out of it that you want like you do when you bottom fill it. You get all that extra space from that top cap. I mean, when I first got it, the airflow control ring was quite tough, but after a little bit of time, that spins round nice and freely. You know, yes, it comes with an Autumn tank, and they're very, very popular at the moment, but to me, I think they're a bit bare, but you can opt for a PMMA tank as well. And the deck to work on is extremely simple with all those slots, so you've got all those variations that you can use for single and dual coil building as well. You know, very easy just to drop those tail leads into 2 slots and grip them down, you know, with not much wiggling going on, because it's very nice and easy to use. You know, the flavour on it is really nice indeed, you know, and it's strange as well because there's no juice control on this like we've been getting on a lot more atomizers to date. You know, options of raising up your chimney and what have you and allowing more juice in, you don't get any from this. But the way it feeds, it constantly feeds, so therefore you're getting a constantly good flavour as well. Really do enjoy it, you know, and as a mouth to lung RTA, it's absolutely fantastic. Showed you there with those 2 decks, very easy to interchange. I mean, the first one that I got was just with the actual sealed holes in there, which you can kind of tell that it was designed for possibly a U-wick, so that mesh lead would come down on either side through there, and you know, and it feeds up through that bottom gap as well, and you can see that it was quite close so that it would wick really well. But now you can just rest those cotton through. But with the open slots on the side, I think it wicks a lot faster, and you can use actually sort of bigger builds now. I mean, originally I was using, say, like a 2.5mm diameter on that, but now I've got my standard 3mm diameter coil in there with those open slots, and it's wicking an absolute treat. yeah, very easy to build on, very easy to use, you know, very easy to take apart and clean if necessary. You know, there's a lot of bits for it. But once again, you're not going to have to take it apart often if you want to give it a clean. I've just did it for you on the close-up so you can see all the bits and pieces that you get. But yeah, all in all, it's a really, really nice atomizer. I think the build quality on it is gorgeous. I love the top cap on it. Is just like one of my favourite top caps ever. It's such a nice, thick, bulky bit of steel that you can tell its quality, you know. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to use. And the flavour is bang on, you know. And it just feeds constantly. It's a really nice touch. Now, the batches on these, I think they made 100 and then have started like sort of going on to their new atomizer. They're making a BF atomizer, Van and Del. So I think there's like not many of these on stores. There's a few shops that are still stocking them that I'll put in the description. But there are about 100 odd floating around, you know, whether on the second-hand market or what. And obviously you're going to get more and more updates from the Van and Del website or Facebook group. So I'll put the link in the description there. And I believe they're starting on a new batch in a couple of months or a month or two from this video. But there are some floating about and lots of information on there, you know. I know he's just sold the last batch as well, so not too sure when they're going to be available again through the Van and Del Facebook group. But if mouth to lung is something you're interested in, you know, I would highly recommend this, you know, with that 1.8mm draw direct airflow intake and your airflow control ring shut down, you're going to get a really nice tight draw on this. For the open draw, once again, like a lot of the RTAs coming out, it's a restricted direct lung. You're going to be able to get one, but it's not mega, it's not massive amount of airflow. So you know, this is kind of more for people who prefer a tighter draw than a really open draw. But once again, the flavour is absolutely bang on, which is, you know, it's no juice control as well. So that's kind of like really cool to see that they've actually nailed a way that this wicks as fast as it does without having to adjust any juice control yourself to get any more flavour or any more liquid to those wicks. Now the price on these, I believe, are €130, okay, and that's for the Soul as a package. Or the Soulless as a package. Now, if you've bought the Soul already and you want a drop kit for it like a Soulless, then I think that's another €30 on top. And I believe if you've got one of the standard decks and you want to change to a different deck, then I believe they're about €20, you know. So it's a pick and choose for your vaping style of what you really like, really. You know what I mean? For me personally, it'd be the Soulless with the open slotted with the deck in it. So, you know, you're probably going to have those options when they're readily available again. But yeah, so €130 is sort of like the base start of how much this atomizer is going to cost. You know, yes, you get your tank, you get your atomizer itself, you know, you get your direct airflow intakes 1.8 and 3mm. So yeah, you know, not a bad price at all for what you're getting. And once again, the build quality on it is fantastic. I really like the build quality on this, and it looks good as well. Superb. Yeah, so that's the Soul and the Soulless from Van and Del Design, 316 grade stainless steel. The Soul 50mm in height, 23mm in diameter. The Soulless 30mm in height, 23mm in diameter, both made of stainless steel 316. Ultim tanks as well, 6 slots on that deck with 2 decks at the moment currently available, and 1.8 and a 3mm direct airflow intake availability as well. So there you go, all wrapped up in a very pretty package. So thank you very much for watching this review, and I will see you on the next one. Stay safe.